Friday got let go at my job. I actually thought I was getting promoted, and then I actually got let go. And that day, I was gonna leave work anyway early to go to a meeting for a mural kind of job. And it was a friend of mine that had a building in the arts district, and went in for the meeting, looked at the space, sent him a proposal like a couple days later, waited probably a week to see if I got it. And we sorted out a deal, and I ended up just saying yes to it. I've never done a mural in my entire life, but I thought, hey, what the heck? Like, it's just basically a bigger canvas blown up on a wall. So I said yes, took the challenge. Huge challenge, but finished it, was so happy with it, and kind of thought I could start doing murals from there. I didn't really get any jobs then for a really long time. A lot of inquiries, but nothing really like bit, because one, murals are so expensive. So not a lot of people know that there's a lot of big budget into that. A mural on Western and 3rd. It's 50 feet wide, 20 feet high, and one of my first murals I did of that size. Quite the challenge as well. A lot of hurdles that I crossed, but I would have never learned all these things had I not made those mistakes and errors. And I think there's a saying I just read recently, it was like, without error is no effort, and I love that, because you can't learn without making any errors. And since that project, actually, I've already gotten one project that's finalized, and then another project also on the side as well. So hopefully becoming a muralist is also something that's gonna start rolling out, but I really like to separate my work that I do on canvas at galleries and like fine art, separated from doing murals. A lot of the works I do on canvas, I really, truly can't really execute on a wall, because there's just so much detail that goes into it, so much, there's a lot of layers that go onto it, and I just really don't think I could do it. So every time I choose something to execute on a wall, it's due to the fact of, I'm not trying to do an easy route, but I need to do something that I can actually execute on a wall. So I try to lean towards doing patterns. So I was born in North Carolina, in Raleigh, which is so random. I barely remember it, but I was born there, lived there till I was 4. Then I moved to Houston, Texas. Then went to Singapore in middle school, spent my middle school years there, and then moved back to Houston, and then to LA. But I also I personally have a lot of childhood memory in Hong Kong as well, because we spent basically every summer there, because my mom's side lives there, and I have a Hong Kong residency. So, but truly, like, I spent most of my time in Houston, but I really strongly identify as my childhood in Singapore, because when I was in middle school there, I feel like that was the time where I think a lot of kids mature in middle school or have like some type of sense of self, and I kind of really found myself there, really adapted to an international school and meeting people. I actually grew up quite introverted, and then I became such an extrovert after moving around so much, because you really have to just adapt to different environments and situations, and you're so exposed to different cultures and people. I think when I live in Asia, I feel more in tune with my Asian side, but when I'm in America, I feel obviously a little bit more American washed out, but it's also because like you become who you are with your environment. So, but thankfully, I think the US is quite a large melting pot to where people are very accepting of everyone. I don't know, I don't really like strongly identify with either. I'm like a very adjacent, I just like in the middle. Like I've never really felt like I lean this way or that way. I think most of my work is inspired by my time in Sfat, Israel, but Sfat particular, which is a very like mystic spiritual town in Israel that I completely just like fell in love with some artwork there. And then my time in South Africa, when I went to South Africa, I saw how similar my work was to a lot of South African artists, even though I've never even been there or even like looked at their work. It's crazy because as a person, I don't even dress very colorful. I'm very like neutral, but like all my paintings are super vibrant and colorful. But I think it's a reflection of my personality. I'm very out there, or like outgoing, very loud, annoying, obnoxious. Again, like I feel like when I paint, there's like a very subconscious feeling that I don't know what I'm painting when I'm doing it, but after I then find the meaning to it. and which is generally what happens in life, is you like find the meaning after it has happened. But all my stories, I feel like, are very in tune with, I feel like everyone can kind of relate off of them because they're all life experiences. I hate the word self-help, but like the stories are trying to help people really like dig deeper into themselves when they read it, and then they can see perhaps their life experiences in my words and through the picture. So I guess something that I'm excited about is just to continue to grow, because I feel like if this is what I can do in 1 year, I can only see myself even having more willpower, more confidence to grow more in the next year still in debt. It's like, oh, you just have the best life, you get to come to the studio and chill all day. That's completely inaccurate, and I've just had so much respect for anyone in the creative field, because it's a lot of like emotional willpower and discipline to come and paint your like soul out. You're like basically exposing yourself on a canvas, or whether it be writing a book or making a movie, like it's a lot of exposure of yourself and vulnerability.